Hey everyone, and welcome to making your holiday hand warmers. So in your craft kit, you should have received some fabric, and it may be this fabric or there's a few other ones to choose from, as well as some rice, although this is a much bigger bag than what you guys would have received, or you will have received some flaxseed. So either one of those will work well for these. The other thing that you can add to your rice or your flaxseed if you wanted to is if you have some essential oils, things like lavender or peppermint or some other light scent would be great for the holidays. And lavender tends to make you relaxed, and peppermint helps to clear out your sinuses and things and perk you up a little bit. So the first thing you're going to want to do is gather all of your supplies. So for me, I've got some scissors to cut my fabric. I have a needle. You can see that right here because for this demonstration, I'm going to hand sew. I have my thread that I chose, some dark green that I had because it matches fairly well with my fabric. Now I've already cut my fabric into 5x5 squares. You can also do 4x4 depending on how large your hands are. So first thing I did was cut out my fabric, and you can do 5x5 or 4x4 like I said, and you're going to actually sew them together inside out. So along with your fabric, you will also receive instructions on how to do this with step-by-step pictures. And there's on the back a sheet of different stitches that you guys can do that will help keep everything together, because grains of rice and the flaxseed are very small. So you're going to want to keep tight, close together stitches. Now I've already threaded my needle. You can see that right there. And I actually did a double. So I could take this apart, split it like that, but I just like to double it because I feel like it gives it a little bit more strength. So what you're going to do is you're going to start in one corner and you're going to pull through. Okay. And you're going to continually go around. Until you have 3 of your sides done. So for me, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to do some stitches. Ooh, a little harder to do this in a video than I thought it would be. You know, those professional crafters make it look easy. So if you can see, I've got 1 stitch in there. I'm going to go back through and go in between that stitch or just beside it. Okay. And then I'm going to do another stitch. And you don't want your string to be too long because you're going to be able to make sure that you can control it in an easy way. So you're basically going to go through and stitch all the way around this side, do the corner, go all the way to that side, come back around and do this side. And then you're going to want to leave about an inch gap between your first stitch and your last stitch on this side. Because what you're going to do is once you're done, and I haven't obviously done all my stitches, but you're going to flip it right side around. Now, the other great thing to have is a spoon or a funnel. But for the spoon, you'll have this opening over here where you're going to want to put your rice in. But if you notice over here where we started stitching, it's not quite as square as you would normally have it. So you're going to go through and make sure you poke out the sides a little bit. Now, after you've poked out the sides is when you can start putting in your rice. So the easiest way to do that is to take your teaspoon, and you will have enough in there for your 2 hand warmers, and you're just gonna slowly dump it in there as you go through. You don't want to overfill them, as they will be too tight, and then they're more likely to burst open if they're overpacked. Now with regular sewing machine, you can do that with this too. It'll actually be a lot faster that way. But you would do the same process as if you were hand sewing. And the other thing to keep in mind when doing this project is these make great gifts, but let them know that you should only stick them in the microwave for about 20 to 25 seconds to warm up the rice, and the rice will maintain the heat. And once they've gone cold is when you can put them back in the microwave for a few more seconds. You can also stick these in the freezer too, if you wanted to, and just have like a little cold pack for them. The rice will work and the flaxseed for that as well. So follow along with the directions on the paper, and hopefully this video was of some help too. And if you have any questions or you need to borrow any material, please let us know. We do have needles and things at the office if you would like to borrow those. All right, happy crafting.